The iLLANOiZE app is available now on Apple and Google Play Store. Download the app, get the latest news, stream our podcasts, watch interviews, and listen to iLLANOiZE Radio live. Download the app right now. As always, we bring you guys some of the illest guests from around the city and globe. Yeah. And today we got Bianca Crosby, creator of Waves, in the building. Man, you know you hard to catch.
I'm always busy.
Like I remember when we originally had scheduled.
That was crazy.
And you went to LA. How did things work out? I mean, what happened out in LA?
I ended up going to Florida. I didn't like it. That's where I wanted my store to be at. I really didn't want my store in Chicago because it was a point of time where I felt like I wasn't getting love in Chicago. So I felt like I wanted to take my business somewhere else. And then I went to Florida. I'm like, I'm going back to my city. I don't like this.
So you literally was finna leave us, huh? You were finna leave Chicago.
Because I felt like I wasn't getting love here. And I had to learn to be patient. I just felt like it wasn't moving fast enough. Because I've been designing since I was 16.
How old are you now?
19. So I've been doing this for a long time. And a lot of people in Chicago know me for that. So I just felt like it just wasn't moving fast enough. And I was sitting and I was looking at all these other designers that was coming up with clothing lines and was just taking off immediately. And I was like, what the hell?
Wow, you only 19?
Yeah.
We going to get into that. But, I mean, you said you went to Florida. What was the initial reason, why Florida out of all places?
Because I have family there and that's just like my second home. Like, that's where I happily grew up at. And I just felt like, okay, well, I know that they don't have people like us there. So I felt like it'd be easier for me to take off there or for me to grow my business. I just thought it would be like a little cheat. Like, okay, let me go out there.
Can I ask why you thought that? Considering, like, you're going to a whole new place and nobody knows you.
Because I feel like if I was to bring content down there, I'd be like the first one and people would get hip to it. And
she saw an open market.
Right.
No, that's understandable.
Yeah, but then I was like, no.
But you've been creating since you were 16?
Since I was 16.
Like, what influenced that?
I was always creative. I started off doing graffiti when I was in elementary school.
Time out. It's not every day you hear a woman say she was
doing graffiti in elementary.
No. Now we got to start that over. Like, what influenced you to do graffiti?
I was just always creative. I was always that kid that for Christmas I would have like the girls that had that case of bracelets and with the neck. Like I was always that kid that was always creating. And
just took it back with that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I was always that kid that was creating. So growing up, I used to get bullied a lot. So drawing was therapy for me. So I was draw if I was feeling sad or draw if I was, I was just always that kid that was just in the arts. Like anything that helped me escape, I'll do it. Okay. So
is it a particular, I mean, you say you've been doing graffiti since elementary. You had to been, what's that, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade?
No, like 7th, 8th.
So, is it something in the family that...
My cousins know how to really draw. My cousin Raymond, he do tattoos. So it was like inherited. Like my grandma's a fashion designer. So it was just like, I was just around it. It just was in my bloodstream. Like, just do it. And did it.
What you got going on
Look,
over there?
Multiple phones going off. I'm so sorry.
Sitting up there like, you giving me anxiety. All these phones you got in there. Alarms going off.
Look, I apologize, B. My bad. That's why I asked that, because I'm like, for you to have such an influence within art, it had to been at a young age too. You only 19. It
was just therapy. It became therapy. But then when I seen like, okay, like when I got older, when I got in high school, I kind of fell back because you in high school, you around other things. And my freshman year, I just remember, okay, I was always ahead of my time. People used to always tell me that because I was always hanging around older people. So freshman year, that's when I got into modeling and stuff like that. But then I realized this is not what I want to do. It's cute, but this is not what I want to do. And then that's when I started realizing, okay, I started hanging out with the artsy kids and started going down to the graffiti room because I went to Wales. We had a graffiti room in the basement. So I went down to the graffiti room after school and just started being with them. And I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. Then I was like, you know what? I'm going to incorporate this into my clothing line. And then I remember one day I just started painting on clothes, drawing on clothes. And I was like, okay, I like this. Like, you know, I like sewing and cutting, but it's just something when you can make a shirt and make it the design yourself and put your own into it. It's just something, you know. So I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I just incorporate my drawing into my fashion. And that's why a lot of my things that you see is, you know, a lot of graphics and personally made and customs, and it look messy, it look colorful, but that's just because, like, that's how I'm feeling, you know.
It's hands-on.
Yeah.
You know, it's real hands-on, which
that's dope.
It makes it a special piece.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell you do a lot of, I guess they call it one-offs, if I'm not
one-of-ones.
There we go, I said one-offs, my bad.
Yeah.
Like, I see, for instance, the jacket you had with the
crazy stuff all over.
With the pink
with the
ballerina.
the
There we go. I couldn't get it out. Like,
I actually made those for Virgil. I remember when Virgil was in Chicago and he was holding art thing at MCA. And I was looking at the designs, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to compete with those people. You know, they was remaking actual Louis Vuitton items. I thought we were just supposed to come up with our own stuff, but really people was remaking Louis Vuitton. Mm. So I never put my things inside the contest, but it was actually for Virgil.
You still should have did it,
yeah. But I was like, how can I compete with these people that's actually, because they was taking Louis Vuitton bags and then redoing them, and it was just crazy. I'm thinking we supposed to do our own thing. I didn't think we were supposed to, you know. So I thought I was never going to be able to compete with them, and just kept the design to myself. It was like,
do you look more at the competition side of fashion, or?
Now I do. I know I shouldn't, but now I do, because fashion in Chicago has become a thing. Like, it become a thing where it's just like, if you're not trending, or if you're like not on, it's like they don't even look at you. So now it's like a competition thing. It's like a wave, you know.
I peeped when you said social media, you were speaking about how, like, you would see people take off
instantly.
And, I mean, you know, you have a social media presence, but I personally want to know, do you more so feel like social media is the route to boost your brand? You don't see any other ways?
I feel like because everybody's on social media every day, that's the only reason why. I wish there was other ways, like, but there's not. Like, everybody's on social media. Social media get anybody famous in a minute. So
I don't want to cut you off, but yeah, social media get you famous, but just because you got a lot of followers don't mean people buying the product.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you feel like you kind of get, I don't want to say caught up in just like the idea of what a strong like social media presence can look like for your brand, or are you trying to measure your success of your brand based off sales?
I'm trying to measure my success based off sales, but when you look at someone that has 100,000 plus followers compared to somebody that got 3,000, you competing with they sales against yours. It's like, okay, they have 100,000 people that's looking at theirs compared to my 3,000. So, like, how can I?
But out of their 100,000, 20 people might just buy it. Out of your 3,300 people could buy. So
that's true, and that's why, like I said in the beginning, like, that's the thing that I struggle with now. It's like, I don't know how to be patient, and I have to learn how to be like, you know, they always say good things come to those that wait, but it's just like, I just be like on edge, because it's like, I've been in the game for 3 years.
That's nothing though. Yeah. Like, that's so, like, we sit down with so many people that sit up here and tell us they've been doing this for 10 years. 3 years is nothing, especially since you was in school. You was really just figuring it out. So I just think, like,
look, she ain't trying to
she like,
hey girl,
you just getting your feet
wet.
I'm like, I dropped out of college and everything. Like, I used to sit in college.
What school did you go to?
I went to Dominican University.
I know what that is.
Yeah, and I used to sit in there. I used to skip all my classes just to sit in the library and just design. And my teacher just came up to me one day, like, you know, is this what you want to do? Like, I'm like, yeah. But he's like, well, you have to do your work too. Like, you fell in. I'm like, I'm not coming back. I remember just leaving, never came back. And I left, like, in the middle of the semester.
Damn. So where did the name WAV come from?
I came up with it because I'm like, I want something that's going to last forever. So I always used to be like, it got to mean something that lasts forever. So waves, like the waves in the ocean, you know, that forever in its infinity. So I'm like, waves, and take it was something I made up in high school. And I took the ES off waves and put the $sign and made it WAVS. But I always wanted to change the name of it, even though I got the trademark. I want to change the name of it, but people like, you got to tat it on you. It's your brand.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, but it's like not.
You can make a branch. You can do a branch off.
Yeah. Keep waves the main.
That's what I was thinking, and just make. That's why I like make little collections and
under
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
So we definitely gonna. We gonna stay with Bianca Crosby. We finna get into a music break. We got Big Lead by Parquet featuring Ty Money and Dono Cash. And we also got some Rocky Fresh around here. Y'all stay tuned because we got waves in the building. We'll be right back. Make sure to check out the iLLANOiZE playlist, in which we provide you with the latest tracks we play live on our show. Head over to Spotify and search iLLANOiZE Radio to follow our playlist, as well as follow our podcast. Now let's get back to the show. And we are back with the homie Bianca Crosby. How you feeling?
Good.
Feeling good? Feeling great?
Yeah.
I see you cozy over there. Did you, I wanted to ask you too about modeling, but we're going to get into that in a second. I remember you said you were thinking about changing Wave's name. Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Because my uncle, he's into like the business stuff, so he used to always tell me, what audience do you want to target? So I used to always tell him, at first I didn't know that question because it's like, of course I want everybody. But he used to always tell me, you should always, make sure that you want to keep it as professional as possible. And he used to always tell me, like, if an older lady see WAV with a $sign, do you think she's going to buy that shirt? And I used to just always be like, I don't know. But he used to always tell me from a professional standpoint, you just got to make it clean a little bit sometimes because, it's all about how you want them to perceive your brand. So that's why I always wanted to change it, because it's just like, I don't want them to think is, kitty, or because I did make it up in high school, but it's just like, now it's like when I make my designs now, waves don't be like, it don't be like kitty work. Like, of course, it's not kitty work. It'd be more like, okay, she on her big girl stuff. It's not no little kid stuff. So that's why I always wanted to change it. But I wanted to change it to my name, Bianca Crosby, or Bianca Loriano, because that's my middle name.
Do that.
That shit hard.
Look, you say
Loriano.
Loriano.
I like that.
Yeah, like Louboutin. Loriano.
I wanted to change it to my name, Bianca Loriano. So I'm still thinking about it. But that's really what I wanted to do.
Yeah. I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
That sound like it's sophisticated too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
like,
what I was like.
Like Ralph Lauren.
Bianca Loriano.
You gotta roll to it. I was looking at Hood Designer. Mm-hmm. Hood, is that under Wave? I know we was talking about branches.
It is.
So is that a branch under Waves? Like, break that down for everybody.
I came up with Hood Design because, when I moved out west, I was like, you know what? This is some hood design. Like, I used to always say, like, this is some hood design right here. Like, this ain't no Gucci or nothing like that. This is hood design. So I was like, I'm about to slap that on my shirt. Hood Design. And that's really the story behind it. But it is Hood Designer, I made it in the hood.
Got the slime,
It is Hood Designer, It ain't, like I always say, it ain't designer, but it costs. My shirts are like $50, $45, so it ain't designer, but.
How do you feel when people hit you up wanting a discount?
I just be like, first I look through their pictures. I be like, if I see you with some designer on, or with some Gucci or some Louis, you gonna pay $45 for this shirt. You ain't getting no discount, because they ain't give you no discount. So that's how I be looking.
Stand on your business.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, I seen you state that several times on Twitter. Like,
I just feel like as a community, like, Kanye West said it the other day. He was like, we invest more into the luxury, but we won't even help our own sisters and brothers. Like, we be so quick to ask each other for a discount, but when we go into Gucci, we be ready to spend everything plus tax.
Right, okay.
Don't do that. We shouldn't short each other. We always short each other. We should not do that.
I mean, say for those that may not have funds to buy Waves, what are other ways they can support you?
Well, I always have sales too. Like, I always have sales. I even give out a lot of things for free. Like I just gave out ISU. I just gave all the kids ISU free
Yeah, you
t-shirts.
hooked us up with some gift before.
Yeah,
Right.
like so I always give out stuff for free because at the end of the day, you know, I don't do this, you know, for like a pat on the back, but I do this because I sit at home and do this all night. Like it even got to a point where our bill got so high because my machine, like I'm like, are you finna start paying rent?
Oh, you got the machine and stuff.
Yeah.
At the crib?
She the red electric bill.
Because I'm in there all night with my coffee, like in there all night. So it's just like it became to a point where it was like, this is something that I really want to do. I don't mind giving out some stuff for free. Like I don't care. Or I tell people all the time, like, you ain't got to pay for shipping, you know. Or here go, you know, some extra. Or if somebody have, like, an issue, you know, oh, I didn't get my stuff. Okay, I know you got it because I got your shipping, but I'm going to send you another one. Like, I don't be caring about that stuff. It's just come to a point where it's like, if I know you got it. Like, dudes all the time, like, the other day, this dude came up to me. He had on some Balenciagas. Oh, he's like, I'm not giving you $70 for that hoodie. Bro, you got Balenciagas on.
I feel like that just made me mad because why try to demean my craft?
Yeah, like that. Like, and it be the dudes too. They be, you can't give it to me for no. Like, dude.
What's one of the biggest issues that you feel like you face as a woman designer?
People don't look at me for what I do. They look at me for my pretty face. It be a lot of times where I have walked in situations with guys, and instead of them trying to help me, they're like, "Oh, can I take you out?" And then if I say no, I don't never hear from them again. It's like, you said you was about to help me. Like, you know, I have a lot of those type of situations, or I have a lot of times where it's just people who just like don't take me serious because of my age and I'm a girl. You know, Queen Key thought I was a dude behind waves. You know, until she found out, like, oh, you a girl. Like, a lot of people thought I was a dude behind this clothing line. And it's like, I can't be a dope female with a clothing line, you know?
Damn.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought you was a dude when I first came across it.
Really?
Yeah. I just went through, saw a couple pictures. Oh, just a clothing line. Oh, Waves. I just, the name alone, you know? And then I found like, she dope. That's dope. I have to then, you know.
I mean, you know what, bro? I'm not gonna sit here and stunt. When I first saw Young B on Twitter, I'm like, okay, because we put out a tweet a while ago asking them, you know, for fashion designers, tag us in some fashion designers we should interview, and your name got tagged several times, and I didn't know who you were, and I'm like, okay, it's a guy. I admit, I was like, but I just looked at the name. I didn't do my research, and then. We followed each other. Mm-hmm. Then I did my research, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is dope. So I see.
I mean, some people be having a lot more respect for me too when they find out I'm a female. But some people take advantage of that though. Some people, you know, they be like, oh, that's dope, you a female, you doing it. But there's some people who just be like, you know. No. And I used to always tell people, because I used to always feel down. Like, if I was a guy, would it be easier for me to like shoot up and for my clothes down to take off? And people was just like, no, you know. But I sometimes think like, maybe if I was a dude, would I get more respect in the streets?
I think it'll probably be harder for you.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I think it'll be harder for you just because like it is dope that you're a woman that has that, like, the type of vision that you do. I feel like if you was a guy doing it, it's like we expect that of a guy, but because you're a woman, we see you, like, we see the pretty side of you, but we also kind of get like a completely different, like, I don't want to say grungy, like, I don't want to say that word, but we get like a completely different vibe with Waves that I think is just more unique coming from a woman. And if it was coming from a guy, I feel like it would just be average.
Yeah, I agree.
That's one thing I say about women designers, man. It's like y'all got like best of both worlds, because you can dress a woman, but then you can go and dress a man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like,
y'all damn near matching.
Yeah, because it's like, I need the right thing today. You feel me? You know, women, they look at the weather. They gonna say, I'm gonna put this with this because the sun out. So they let me know. When I look at the sun, like, I'm gonna put this on.
That's right.
She studied the weather and put her outfit according to weather. I did it right. I'm righteous. I'm righteous today. I hit the jackpot.
I say, okay, twinning over there.
Yeah, I put my jacket on because she came in here with hers. I ain't have mine on.
He definitely didn't have his on.
I was like, hold on, you got mine on. She made hers though. I brought mine. She made hers.
I didn't know that.
Well,
I thought you made the shirt. I didn't know you made the jacket.
Yeah.
Damn.
What's on the back of it?
Okay, never fold.
Even though I said that.
Hood
Okay.
designer. Okay,
I
yeah, I
like
didn't know
that.
you made. I didn't know you made that. Okay.
Yeah,
Y'all's ain't the same, my
Yeah,
brother.
mine ain't the same. Mine ain't the same. Hers custom. She made hers. I brought mine.
Now I want to briefly jump into the Come Up. I think it's called the Come Up magazine. Are you still, are you still interested in doing a Come Up magazine?
Yeah, I am. It's just because I'm trying to do waves, and then I'm trying to model. It's like I don't have a team, so I have to do the Come Up when I'm free, and that's a whole magazine.
I mean,
So
break it down. Let people know what the Come Up magazine
The Come Up
is.
magazine is a magazine about all underground Chicago artists that's from Chicago, that's either rapping or dancing or artist or fashion designer or that's just in the arts period or that's an influencer. I did that because growing up I wish I had somebody that was able to write about me or give me the shining light. So I hang around nothing but influencers. So I feel like this was my way of giving back. So I write about dope people in a community that's making a change that we really should pay attention to. Because there's a lot of people in Chicago that we overlook.
Mm-hmm.
That's really
a lot of talent.
That's really making. I just tweeted that earlier. Like Chicago, we have the best of everything. So
I agree.
I hear you say you still modeling. I thought you said you didn't like it at first, and that's what
I didn't only model my clothes.
Oh,
Okay. Because
I only model my clothes. At first, I was just always modeling, like doing freelance and stuff like that. Now it's like if I model, I'm gonna model my clothes.
What made you stop freelancing?
Because when I first started modeling, people was only looking at me at that like
As
she
just a
pretty
model?
So I'm like, that's not what I want to do, and that's not what I want people to. Yeah, thank you for the support, but I'm a fashion designer. People used to always be like, "Oh, you're Bianca Crosby, the model." No, I'm Bianca Crosby, the fashion designer. Thank you, but no.
Creator of waves. I peeped the bio.
Yeah.
I peep it. I mean, let people know where they can find you. Of course, shout out the website. Give out all your info so people can tune in.
Okay, so you can find me on Facebook at Bianca Crosby, Instagram at Waves1017, or you can find me on Twitter at YoungB__, or you can go on my website, wavesmerchandise.com, and make sure you shop.
Do you have any pop-up shops coming up? Anything we need to be looking out for?
No, not right now. I don't do pop-up shops.
Why? I must know.
Because I just never was into it. I should, but I was just never into it.
Do you not to cut you off, do you not like the idea of group pop-up shops, or you just having a pop-up shop for maybe a collection you're releasing?
It's just the thing where it's just like, it's like a win or lose. Like with me, I don't go through manufacturers. So it's like, if I'm going to do a pop-up shop, that means I have to create 30 pieces. And what if I have a pop-up shop and those 30 pieces don't sell?
That makes sense.
So it was just like, I just lost the money that just came out of my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't do my stuff through manufacturers. So it's not like I'm getting a bulk of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm doing it all by myself. So
that makes sense.
A whole lot more.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Both by that name.
That just means she made it with love, y'all.
Yep.
right, I just made it with
Custom.
love.